Okay, this is Brian and Sharon, May 25th, 2020. We went through the hive inspection with hive number 1, and about 5 minutes from the end, the camera decided to stop recording and deleted the whole thing. So,
which is a shame.
It's a shame because it was interesting because that hive is packed full of bees. Just as a recap, there's brood all the way up to here. And they're starting to build this box out with wax. So there was brood from top to bottom. There was a single frame in the very middle, which was complete drone brood, which I'd never seen it in the middle. Usually it's out at the edge, but both sides of that frame, complete drone brood. So, yeah, and it's packed full of bees. So we'll try to make sure that we capture all that next week. But now we're going to do hive number 2. We had to add some boxes to this after last week, and so I did. They're the wrong color, but we added them anyway. So, yep, I'm not seeing much happening in this one. I think, if I remember correctly, this was the hive where they built a lot of bridge comb, and so we had to clean that up and then give them extra space. Let's see if they're doing anything in here. Hopefully they took all the energy that they put into building that bridge comb, and hopefully they decided to continue to build up in here. This is an old frame that I put in there, and looks like they're not really taking to the plastic.
That is our experience.
Yeah.
Our bees don't usually like the plastic.
I've got just a little bit of sugar water here, and I'm going to spray that plastic with sugar water. So hopefully they'll come up to lick off all the sugar water and realize that that's a great frame to start building on.
Ah, they're starting to build a little bit.
You see them festooning a little, so they're going to start that. This is a frame that I cut out last year and left a little sort of a starter strip up there. I did that with most of the frames I put in here. You can see they're building on this one. I think this had some of the comb that the mouse ate, and so you can see where they're adding to it right there. It's a little bit lighter color. Hopefully they'll build that out. And I've got in the center here 2 pieces of foundation, and they haven't done much on that. Maybe they are still upset because I cut out their bridge comb. They're like, we're not building that anymore. It's an old frame, also that the mice had chewed on. You can see where it's white up here. They've added on, and it's full of nectar.
So just to be clear, when we had the mouse damage, you did freeze those frames.
Yep.
And so it's not like we just put it in randomly. Made sure that it was frozen so anything that had been on there would die.
Yep. Oh, come over here for a second. You can see. I'm pulling these apart. You can see where their legs are still connected.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they're starting to build wax there. You can see a little teardrop right there where they built that out already. So, okay, so they haven't done a lot, but use the wax that was already built out on some of those frames. So maybe they'll continue on and build those out. I'm going to move these frames into boxes that I had rebuilt and painted that are over there. So, found a pry point. This one fits in here very well. look at box number 3. This has a deep and 2 mediums for brood. I'm thinking about building something there. You notice this frame, instead of some of those where I left some comb, this one has a little wedge on it. And for some reason, the bees will build onto that wedge and build straight. Other ways that you can try to get them started to build their own wax without foundation don't seem to be as successful as that sort of wedge-shaped piece. Okay, a bunch of new wax on this side.
Lots of new wax on this side.
So this was foundation and they built it out. Man, that's pretty. Pure white. It looks like they've been really busy in this box. This one is full of nectar with some pockets of pollen.
We have some baby larvae over here. Let's see if I can get a good picture of it. There we go. And some nectar on the side.
You get larvae, huh? Mm-hmm. Nice. And this is box number 3, right? Oh, bunch of larvae.
We have some, I think, queen cells at the bottom.
Yeah. Short ones right now.
Yeah.
This, let me see.
Tons of room.
Oh yeah, lots of larvae. Pretty. You can see the honey up here, or nectar, but it's starting to get dried out. So that's yeah. So hopefully we gave them extra space before they committed to swarming. Okay, we got brood.
Some drone comb.
Yeah, some drone comb here. We got some. That's just comb. It's not queen cells. We don't continue to build in crazy ways. This one built out very wide, looks like. Let's see. Maybe it's just a bunch of drone comb.
Drone comb right there.
Worker
Those round
comb.
ones. That's not a queen cell. That's just extra comb. No, that one looks like a pointy little thing right there.
Look at it from that perspective. See how wide they built out that wax?
Yeah.
And it's all new. You can tell because it's so clean.
Yeah.
Sometimes even with proper bee space, they'll build it out wider and then take some space away from an adjoining frame. So if you don't reorder your frames, then it's okay. But if you do reorder your frames, sometimes you have to adjust. There's a ton of bees packed on this side, but it's all pollen, all nectar.
This is pollen and nectar.
Okay, take a look at this side.
Yeah, that's a lot of nectar.
Yeah, all nectar. The last one in here is one of those wedge frames that I put in. Not traditionally what we call wedge frames. It's just the one with that little wedge on top, so they can build their own. And
This is
they're
what
building their own.
Yeah.
And which is not unusual. They're building out drone cells. See how fat they are.
Oh, that's
So let's see them a little better on this side, fewer bees. You see up here in this corner? Looks like they're starting another one. Nice. Lots of nectar. Looks like they're doing well. Good wax, that's for sure. I think I may have left those frames just a little bit too far apart. I can see them squeezing through as I close it down a little bit. Fine there. Hopefully they'll build that one out. One good thing about having the drone stone is you can either use it for put it in your honey super, and they can fill it full of honey after all the drones go away, or you can take it off the hive and use it for wax. Because drone comb is not something you generally want to keep. We may not be able to get these boxes apart. There we go. Now, you can see, as opposed to that hive, there's not that many bees in there. There's a few around us, but, well,
They
we missed the other
that
hive.
video.
So, if you could have seen, there were a lot of bees in the air with that hive. Looks like there may be some bees in there.
But considering this is this hive's first year, there's a lot of bees, I think. But nothing like what was in hive number 1 earlier.
Let's see what we got. Up on the ledge. Okay, I have cat honey on this side.
Not on this side. Oh yeah, look at that. Yum.
Nice. So this was the nuke colony. So they had a little bit of a head start.
So what do you mean by that?
They came in a box where the queen was already mated in 5 frames. So she was already laying. They had some honey stores and some pollen. Drones just hanging out on this side. This is lots of pollen. So this one we started a few weeks ago. Already had 5 frames. Usually you get 1 or 2 frames of brood, 1 of honey, 1 of one of nectar, 1 of pollen, and then just an extra frame. So I've got some brood on my side, some brood on your side. Looks good. Let's see. I have uncapped larvae mixed in with nectar. Quite a bit of uncapped larvae. What box is this? This is box 2 from the bottom. Some more brood. Drone brood bracketing on the top there.
Now I think these might be queen cells on the back. We're not too sure.
No, I think that's just crooked drone. It's not big enough and doesn't really look like a peanut. Notice there's a bee right there with yellow pollen. So the pollen is just unbelievable at this weekend. It's just coating everything. But I'm not seeing a lot of bees with pollen. There's a few, but not a lot.
Some brood.
here.
That's got a lot of drone on it. Drone coming
Okay. Look at this one. Take a peek at the next one. Yep. They built more bridge comb. Not seeing the queen on here. So, you can see in the bottom, I saw the larva that I pulled apart and pulled the screen up. Oh, lots of brood.
There's some brood.
But here's something that's weird you see every once in a while. Look at it, you have this dent here, and then this big thing it's not straight and white and pretty.
See if I can get more 3D image here.
This box, we'll go down and take a peek at the bottom box. This way, everybody was feeling good. Suddenly got a lot more bees in the air.
They like your iPhone.
Sometimes, if I accidentally smash a bee, that gets them riled up.
One of the reasons you keep a phone when you're
And I
down
just
in the
smashed a bee.
apiary is because if something were to happen and you had an emergency, you want to be able to call for help. So that's why he always carries the phone with him.
So, yeah. See if I can these proud. That was near calm. So when we got the nuke, there was this one frame that was built up really fat at the top, and so we couldn't fit all 8 frames into this box. So we just left it with 7. And you could see that fat frame right here. If you look at it from that perspective, so far it comes out on your left. We've got a bunch of bees. So a bunch of empty balls with some nectar. You can see the light glinting off of that. I could cut down this comb here, but I don't think it's really going to bother anything. We'll just have this hive with 7.5 frames, if you will. Okay. Next one. And nothing.
There's not a lot of brood going
See if I
on.
can see
Seems
some
like.
nectar. Not seeing eggs or anything there. Oh, here we go, brood.
So we've got some brood over here.
And drone tip. I've done some deeps, I've done some hives that are all mediums. Like I think both of these are all mediums. One of the advantages of deeps are you have a lot of real estate for brood.
Finally,
Like here.
brood.
A lot of this real estate is taken up by this brood. Now, which is, could turn into a crisis, my nose is in it. So, with all these bees in the air, if I was to scratch my nose through my veil, chances are high that the bees would notice.
You need to watch your chin. That's where they always seem to get you.
Yeah. And the bees would notice and say, ah, I can reach it.
Lots of brood, finally.
Got brood. What looks like the what's just hatched.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great frame of brood.
Alright. I'm much less worried now.
Keep it this way. This is the side over there. There's some more. Maybe not some brood on this side. Along with some.
Some of the drone brood just got torn up when you opened it up. You can see the larva.
Oh yeah? I thought it felt sticky.
Yeah.
Where was it? Oh, on the side. Yeah, where they built that on the side. Yeah. Yep, so there's corresponding on the next frame. That's great. I give these ladies A+.
They're noisy right now because they don't like that you're down in this area with the brood. You can hear them on the video, but they're much noisier than they were to begin with. Also getting in front of my camera.
I can feel them hitting my hands too. See how calm they are now? I'll go away from the smoke. Well, this has been good. So I'm going to take out the supers for the appropriate color boxes. There's not a lot of bees in the basket here. They have a lot of space now. And with the feeders still on, I'm letting, I had the notch turned up, so if the bees got stuck under there, they'd have a way out. And that's where the ants are coming in. So there are a lot of ants, those big black ants up around the feeders. So we've got enough bees in here now. I think I'll turn the notch down, give them a second entrance, and also they can fight the ants off. Right now the ants can get up to the feeders without the bees being able to protect that space. They weren't getting in the hive, so it wasn't hurting anything, but I don't like for ants to think that they can hang around the hives. So we'll turn the notch down, and we'll also take some cinnamon, just regular cinnamon powder that you would use at home, and sprinkle it around the edge of that board. And ants hate cinnamon, so that will keep them at bay. Another new box. Frames in. come in this package. Like that.
They just rode up there.
It is also interesting that different frames from different manufacturers. I'll pull this one out. You see, this one is square on the end. This one is round on the end. And they all have basically the same amount of bee space here. But some of them, if you line them up here, you see this one extends a little bit farther than that one. So sometimes you have frames that just don't fit well in a box. So I've got a little sander, a belt sander on a stand that I trim, sand these off just 1/8 of an inch on each end. And they fit. Okay. Looking good. All right.
It's getting quieter. Not quite so many bees flying around at us in the air.
We'll get those right there. Inner cover. You can see some of the ants that are on here drinking that sugar water.
I don't know if I caught the ants or not.
And then here's the notch I was talking about. So when you put it down, then the bees can come in and out of the hive. When you put it up with this on there like that, bees could get in here, but they can't get down in the hive, so the ants had sort of free reign up here. So I'm going to put the notch down to create a second entrance for the hive. And we may have some ants that come back because they remember that they were able to get in. We'll put the jars back on. This is 1-to-1 sugar water with Honeybee Healthy. We're running low, so I'll mix some up tonight. And I'll come back down tonight or tomorrow and replace these. We do not intend to take any honey off of this hive for us. We'll leave everything they make on the hive this winter, and so we can use Honeybee Healthy on there. There we go. On here. Outer cover. All right. So here we have hive number 2. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 boxes that are pretty packed, and then these 2 that are working on this one and started a little bit on this one. So we're in good shape with hive number 2. So we will continue on to hive number 3, and we'll see you in the bee yard.